Hi! Today we're gonna put eyes on in UnMetal. It is a parody game, which is quite funny. Similar to the original MSX Metal Gear, or the Nintendo Metal Gear. So without further ado, let's get on with the show.
Once upon a time, a Soviet war helicopter entered Allied territory. The aircraft was intercepted and shot down. As the pilot emerged from the wreckage, he was arrested by the same bastards who shot him down, and later was brought to a military base for interrogation. That pilot was me.
Name?
My name is Fox. Jesse Fox.
You don't seem to be Russian.
Russian? Me?
You were piloting a Russian aircraft 2 hours ago.
I also drive a Toyota, and I'm not Japanese.
All right, Mr. Fox. Before arresting you, I'm obligated to write down a report with your version of the facts. So tell us what the hell you were doing in that heavily armed Soviet helicopter.
It's a long story.
Sergeant, bring us some coffee.
Yes, sir. Wachowski, bring the lieutenant some coffee.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mr. Fox, we have plenty of time. Explain what happened.
In 1972, a crack commando unit threw me in a prison for a crime I didn't commit.
You're under arrest for a crime you didn't commit.
I promptly escaped from a maximum security stockade to the underground, trying to survive from these soldiers of fortune.
The humor won't be for
Let's
everyone,
start from the beginning. How did you escape
but I
from
think
that
it's
cell?
great.
Piece of cake. I just had to write a note.
A note? Where'd you get the paper from?
I used toilet paper.
I see. And how did you find a pen?
A pen? I was in a dirty, grimy cell, not in an office. I wrote the note with a rusty wire, using my own blood as ink.
Okay, I'm doing this wrong.
I scratched my arm with the wire and got to work. It wasn't easy. The toilet paper tore under the pressure of the bloody wire. Those bastards gave us cheap paper, one ply, unscented, and unpatterned.
Why did you break the toilet? Why not grab the paper like a normal person?
You know how prison is. It's kill or
So
be
very
killed.
true.
And I wasn't going to be killed by some dirty toilet.
So it is completely out there. And I think it's fantastic.
Holy Jesus. You schmuck. Do you really think I'd be stupid enough to kill myself? Kill myself? Ugh.
The controls are very responsive. And if you played the classic version of Metal Gear, the one for the MSX, or the Nintendo one, I'm thinking you're gonna feel at home here. You can move the bodies, so stealth elements and all that.
I left the guard locked in the cell. Then I threw away the key and got out of there.
Mr. Fox, what about the noose? Where did you get that from?
Where did I get the noose? Are you seriously asking me that?
I am, Mr. Fox.
I'll tell you later.
The basics of the game are... Oh,
When
this
leaving
area
the
is really
cell,
cool.
I found myself in a prison yard surrounded by some buildings. There were piles of boxes and other stuff.
I really like how the background is getting built
And the ground was
with
plain
the stuff
dirt.
he's narrating.
Oh, and it was night.
I think this was a great design choice.
Why did you keep punching those crates?
Things like
What
this.
did you expect to happen?
Nothing in particular.
Then why this gratuitous violence?
I don't know. I suppose I got lost in the moment. You know, for being imprisoned for a crime I didn't commit.
He's got a point.
That box contained some filthy cloth scraps. I made some handy bandages to prepare for when I would get wounded. Bad news. Dirty cloth rags don't heal you. They just stop the bleeding, and I ain't got time to bleed. Good news. I could reuse these rags as much as I wanted. Good dirty cloth is hard to come by.
And the references. No Time to Bleed. Always a classic. Which, you do bleed in this game. If you get shot, you start bleeding.
I thought everyone would be asleep at night. That it was safe to escape. I was dead wrong. I noticed the presence of...
And the game gives you choices to make it harder upon yourself, if you want to, which I also think is great.
2 guards on the night shift.
And because I'm a Muppet, of course I choose 2. Oops. Okay. That didn't go well. And I got no experience from that because I messed up. And I alerted them. Which, yeah, this game also has levels. That's what I was looking for? Well. I can't stealth worth a damn today.
Blood. I had to heal that wound before I bled to death.
Yeah, you do. The detail of the bleeding is pretty cool as well. And that was a disaster. But what can you do? You don't want to be in that circle when that happens, because the character will say bless you and give away his position. As I will show you right now.
Bless you!
I don't understand why would anyone do that? Especially trying to escape from a prison. But I think it's hilarious.
I need to pee.
Classic. Maybe this time I'll get some XP. There we go. The fact that you use the toilets to save the game is also hilarious. Because everything's going down the crapper.
Hey, over here. Hello? You talking to me?
Affirmative. My name is Colonel Alan Harris, 5th Battalion.
I'm Jesse Fox.
Rank?
I'm not military, Colonel.
Then tell me, Fox, what the hell are you doing here?
I've been jailed for a crime I didn't commit. Do you know how to get out of here?
Try to escape through any sewer. There must be one nearby. 'Cause it stinks when it's hot. Once outside, move along at nighttime and sleep during the day.
What about you, Colonel?
I've been tortured. My legs won't make it. But if you bring me a radio, I can help you escape.
Hold on, Harris. Are you sure you heard him say Alan Harris?
Yes, sir. Saw him yesterday.
Look, Mr. Fox, Colonel Harris died a month ago in an ambush.
Well, it's the name that stubborn old man gave me.
I see. I'll write down on the report that you talked to Colonel Harris after his death. Continue your story.
As I was saying, I searched for a radio to bring him.
This game also seems heavily influenced by 80s movies. Which probably Metal Gear was too. So I don't know that for a fact. But that's how it looks like and sounds like.
Under some crates, I found my salvation. A sewer hole. There was no ladder and I couldn't see the bottom. I needed to find a ladder or rope if I wanted to go down. I took a coin off the guard.
Money? What'd you intend to spend it on? I suspect there's no shops open for an escapee on a midnight run.
Who said anything about spending? I used it to distract soldiers. I quickly found out that guards love picking up free coins.
That's
off
a
the
classic
ground.
trope. And that's it. If I press the right button, then that wouldn't happen.
I took a coin off the guard.
Money?
We'll be skipping that. And then... I don't know what the rings are for.
Hey, a coin.
Not suspicious at all. The guy just goes for it. Who threw it? Who knows?
I picked up the guard's radio. Without encryption, I knew other guards could listen in on my conversations with Harris.
I see. You still haven't told me how you got that noose.
I'll tell you later. As I was saying, I needed to find a special encryption circuit to install in the radio. I had the circuit. I just had to attach it to the radio. With the modified radio, I could speak to Harris with no one listening. Now, I just had to bring it to him.
And the noose?
Later.
That news seems to be a hot topic. I guess that wasn't necessary.
You stole a one-eyed man's patch?
A one-eyed man that would shoot me without hesitation.
Because it was his job. What you did was macabre and suggest you might have a fetish.
Holy Jesus.
Well, that patch turned out to be handy to create a lethal weapon.
This fellow has no sense of humor. Doesn't understand the nuances of war over here. But I found this to be really cool. You can equip this thing, and look what happens. You can't see half the screen. It's amazing.
You removed his glass eye too?
Yes, I took it out because
Of course
it
it
was
was.
suspicious.
What was suspicious?
Why did a one-eyed man have a glass eye under an eye patch? He'd be using a patch or an eye, but not both. Maybe the eye was some sort of secret device. I kept it just in case.
I just love all the small details this game has. And I wonder if there's an achievement for finishing the game with the eye patch on. I think it would be annoying to play like this, because you can't see anything on one side. But
Hey, buddy. I have no paper. Can you bring me some?
Here you are.
Thanks, man. You saved my ass, literally. What the fuck? What sort of paper is this? It's only one ply, unscented, and unpatterned.
It's the kind the prisoners use.
Fuck, that's why their hands stink so much. By the way, who are you? I don't recognize your voice.
I'm Lieutenant Marcus Stevenson.
Lieutenant, you say? Sir, I apologize for my manners. I did not know your rank, sir.
Relax and clean up your rear guard well.
Sir, yes, sir.
I find the dialogue to be very amusing and enjoyable. This eye patch is gonna be the death of me. You know, I might do an eye patch run someday. That would be fairly interesting.
I ran into a guard as I went in.
Oh no.
Luckily, the guy was sleeping. That bastard was going to have a rude awakening.
No, he was gonna go from sleeping to deep sleep. There we go. Oh, no. You can't do an eye patch run. Anyway. Alright. So, I think it's a really amusing game. It plays very well. The controls are responsive when you don't press the wrong inputs. You know? Just saying. The fact that it added this detail of the eye patch, it's just pure gold, in my opinion. Because we get all these badass characters wearing eye patches, right? But obviously the eye patch, if they have both eyes, prevents you from seeing half of the picture in a way. So I think it's cool. The graphics are really well made, very reminiscent of the era. Though, as with all these games, they're a bit modernized. There's some tricks to make them look better than the classic graphics did, in a way. But for all intents and purposes, it's a great representation of the aesthetic of the era.
Do you have cigarette?
I do not.
Do you have cigarette?
Anyway. It is fun to play, amusing to listen and read the dialogue. So I do recommend you check it out if you like stealth, tactical, espionage, action. Yeah, I don't know if I got that right, but something along those lines. If you're a fan of Metal Gear, I don't think you can go wrong with this game. Unless you like the more serious tone of Metal Gear, which... I love that franchise, don't get me wrong. But it does take itself a bit too seriously, and in doing so, it's funny in some places that it shouldn't be. But as a whole, it's great. With lots of cutscenes. So, there's that. I don't mind it, but I know some fellows who just can't stand the fact that it's 30 minutes of cutscenes, 30 minutes of gameplay, and then 40 minutes of cutscenes. So, this game is not like that. It's mostly gameplay, has a few cutscenes, I think. Or I should say, it's not as heavy on the cutscenes as the original Metal Gear. I think it represents the source material, or I think it does a great job taking the source material and presenting it in a lighthearted fashion. Let's go with that. So, yeah, check it out. I don't think you will be disappointed, as I said.
Do you have cigarette? With those first aid kits, I could
Anyway,
disinfect
all
and
that
heal
said,
my wounds.
I'll see you on the next one.
Those kits stopped
Have a
my
good
bleeding
one.
and also healed my wounds
Cheers.
over time. Bad news. Once you used them, they were gone.